Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Wake Up with Juan, or for some of us, we're still awake. We're still going through all of the things. I took a short little nap. I couldn't sleep much because, once again, I had design brain. I just could not put the yarn or the hook down. A little bit of context. I am designing a cowl as we speak, and so when the ideas come up, I have to stop what I'm doing, and I need to get yarn on a hook and do it before I forget it. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Good morning, Michelle and Kathy. Hello, hello. Who else do we have? Dinky Crafts Jennifer, hello to you. Welcome in. Let's see. Cheryl, hello to you. And Shannon, hello. Welcome in. Hi, Kay. Super happy to have all of you guys. I have a fresh cup of coffee. I have my planner out. And if you are new here, welcome to Wake Up with Juan. This is the live stream where I plan out my week. I kind of sort of organize my thoughts with you guys and hopefully inspire you guys to make a habit of taking a little time for yourself to organize your week for you, whether it be all things crochet or otherwise. It's just a really good thing to get into, to just carve out a little bit of time for yourself each week to, plan out goals and talk about your to-do lists and things like that. So that's what we're doing today. And of course, we're connecting, we're talking to each other. So hopefully this is of interest to you. If it is, I hope you enjoy. So yeah, welcome in. Super happy to have all of you guys here. Okay, so first I want to get into these catalogs. So I don't know how many of you guys actually get these. So I get these dropped off into my mailbox. I get the Hirschners and the Mary Maxim. Now, do I use these to actually place an order? Absolutely not. But what it does do is give me an opportunity to flip through all of the pages without the use of my phone or a computer and maybe circle things, different colorways that I'm interested in. And the great thing about this is that I can take my pattern books, open them up, and then I'll use Hirschner's, for example. They're notorious for it. Look at this. See all the colors on the page? I can lay the colors next to the pattern book and say to myself, okay, I can see this color being used, this color being used, and all the colors are literally right next to my pattern books. So that's a huge win for me when I go to these books and kind of plan out colors and things. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm placing an order. I look through my stash to see if I have those colorways. And then, of course, if I don't have them, I look at the sale, and if it's good enough, I'll place an order. I don't buy yarn full price anymore unless I'm in a pinch and I'm trying to finish a project. I almost never buy yarn full price, and I don't encourage you guys to do that either. Please don't buy yarn full price if you don't have to. Please don't do that. I don't know if that's the right thing I should be telling you guys, but yeah, please don't buy yarn full price. Wait for the sale. It's not going to expire. It's non-perishable. It's not going to go bad. So wait for the sale. When the sale happens, jump on it and get your things. Stack and pack and organize and all of that. If you've been around, you kind of know how we do things here. Another thing that I really enjoy about these, well, this one in particular, Mary Maxim, is they tape the top and they tape the bottom. They don't always come taped both sides. Sometimes I get one where it's only taped on the one side and not both. This time around, we have both sides taped. See? This is double taped at the top. They really wanted to make sure everything was secure. But I'm just curious. Oh, that's why. Okay. So there was an insert. Okay. So that's what was inside there. Have no need for that. We'll set that over there. Anyway. So Mary Maxim is another one that I like to run to for the colors of the yarn. I don't really go into their crochet kits or anything like that. I'm already subscribed to their quarterly crochet, like their Afghan club quarterly and their monthly knit club. So I already get the things through them with that. But I use the catalog to look at their colorways. Also, too, I look at the yarns that I currently use. So Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, all right here. You can kind of sort of see it all there. I look here to see which colorways I don't have, and then I go through them and say to myself, Juan, do you want this? Do you want these? Do you need them? Well, we always need them. We could always use these things, But I'm trying to be more responsible with my yarn purchases. And I mean, if history serves me well, if it serves me correctly, I really dialed back on my yarn hauls. I used to do yarn hauls all the time, like twice a week, once a week minimum. And I really slowed down with it because I have it now, right? I've got yarn and like I'm really crocheting through my yarn, I still have a lot of yarn, but yeah, I'm trying to make smarter purchases, waiting for sales, and even if the sale is on, is the sale good enough for me to make a purchase, or will there be a better sale later on? So those are things that I think about as well, because listen, Yarn Inspirations, they have a 40% off sale. Okay. It's all I'm hearing. Like everyone is like saying all the things about this 40% off sale at yarnspirations.com, which I can completely appreciate. Trust me, I can appreciate it. The thing about it is, I weigh all options. Okay. With the 40% off, is the sale still a good sale? Also, how long am I going to have to wait for that yarn? Like, historically speaking, I haven't had really good experiences with that company for me, where I ask myself, could I get that same yarn at a company that actually delivers my yarn in a decent amount of time? And, so I weigh my options. Power of the purse is what they call it. Let your purse do the talking. If you're not satisfied with the service, take your services elsewhere. Anyway. Let me just mention this. This is the first time that I'm actually going live at 4 o'clock in the morning, standard, and not vertical. How many of you guys actually noticed that? We're testing something out here. If we're trying to figure out if, is there a difference between verticals and regular? Like, we're testing the things. So you guys are part of the test with us. And I love that for us, right? Oh, Michelle said, what did Michelle say? Michelle said, I noticed, but I thought my brain was off. Me too. Like, sometimes it's just not connecting. Those dots are just all over the place. Good morning, Amy Lee. Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Krista. Welcome in. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to show you these. And if you're interested in them, if you're able to get these catalogs near you, our friends far away probably aren't able to get these. But if you are, Hirschners.com is a really good place to get yarn. I highly recommend. I actually met the president of this company. Very nice guy. Very down to earth. He's one of those guys who actually rolls up his sleeves and works with his employees. I can always get down with a leader like that who doesn't sit behind a desk and, wave the wand, so to speak. He actually works with his employees, which I'm really, really excited about. You don't see too many people like that. So that's another reason why I go to Hirschner's, because the culture that they have up there is just so inspiring. If you haven't made it to the warehouse sale at all, I highly recommend that you go there if you're able to. It's a really great experience. Anyway, Hirschner's, big, huge warehouse. They've got a storefront, but they've got employees pulling orders all year long, and they pack and do all the things. It's a huge warehouse. Super fun. Mary Maxon, I don't really order as much. I like Mary Maxim for their kits, and sometimes it's a miss, if I'm not mistaken. If my memory serves me right, yeah. Um, I go with their Knit Club of the Month because it's like 20 bucks. It's affordable. Their Afghan Club is $24.99, and you only have to do that once every 3 months. Outside of that, like, I look at these kits and I'm like, you want me to pay $98 for a crochet kit, $79 for a crochet kit? No. Not happening. I'm not paying that kind of money. Not when I can pull yarn from my wall. And if I really need to, I can go to YouTube and watch a tutorial. I mean, I don't mind paying for a kit. I mean, I do it 4 times a year. But I think there's a ceiling. I'm only going to go but so far. And some of these crochet kits, I mean, are they worth the money? Maybe. But for me personally, I have my own little ceiling that I will not go past, because I feel like, as a thrifty shopper, as someone who talks about steals and deals and things like that, there's really no need for me to spend all kinds of money on a kit. Now, there are special circumstances, and I have crossed onto the other side, I think maybe once or twice. I don't know if Hirschner's was the place that I purchased it. I'm not sure. Some of you guys may know, it's called the Persian Tiles Afghan. I bought it on sale, and on sale when I purchased it, it was $69. And for me, that's a lot of money for a crochet kit. Like, yeah. I think maybe my ceiling is, I don't want to pay any more than 50 bucks for a crochet kit. Mm-mm. If it's more than 50 bucks, I would probably go to Etsy or Ravelry to see if there's a pattern available, and I'll purchase the pattern and use my own yarn, because that's what you're really paying for. You're buying the yarn. And if the yarn isn't exclusive, hand-dyed, special yarn, all the things yarn, I can pull it from stash and substitute and make my own adjustments. There's really no need for me to spend all this money on yarn that I could potentially just turn around and use what's behind me, you know? Yeah. But I do want to say, I highly encourage this, by the way. I mean, it's great to get crochet kits, because there are people who are challenged by selecting the right yarns for the kit, right? So I get that, totally get it. But when you come across those issues, that's when you come to places like here and you say, hey, I've got this pattern. What yarn would you suggest? Um, Save yourself some money. Buy the yarn while it's on sale. Get yourself that pattern. Get the pattern some other way, whether it's through Etsy or Ravelry. Save your money. They're trying to make a profit on the yarn, and the only way they make money off of those crochet kits is by, selling the yarn. So, yeah. Anyway, get the pattern, and then pick your own yarn. All right. I listen, as a pattern writer, as a designer, as someone who has, I don't know, 80 something patterns out there that are constantly being purchased. I have to tell you that it is one of the best ways to support someone who actually writes and designs patterns. I mean, these kits, you're supporting the yarn manufacturers, not the designers. If you're wanting to support the designer, the best way to do that, regardless of who it is to see if they have the pattern exclusive. And a lot of times in the pattern, it actually tells you the yarn that they're suggesting you use. It's all in the pattern. So take that for what it's worth. All right. Yeah, there we go. So hello, welcome in, Tracy and everyone. So since I noticed when we first went live, right, everyone was giving weather reports. I feel compelled to do the same thing. I need to tell you guys that, like, we're experiencing high winds. It was raining like cats and dogs just a few moments ago. I mean, it was coming down so hard here. It sounded like marbles were being dropped on my ceiling, like right above me. Marbles, all the things. It was so heavy and hard. Anyway, it's 57 degrees. It feels like 49 in the high today. It's going to be 68 degrees over here in Nowhere, Delaware. So good. Yeah, very, very nice. And let's see. Wind advisory, and we're experiencing winds up to 30 miles per hour. And we're going to be doing that until like noon. So a very windy day. Love it, love it, love it, love it. This is so good, this coffee. Oh my goodness. I love it. All right, so as always, what I like to do is go through my week with you guys. Let's talk about it. Let's like break down the week. All right. And I encourage you guys to do the same. However you want to do this. I have this book that I purchased from Walmart, 2026. I bought it for like $10 or $9.99. And this is what a blank week looks like. You can sort of see it. You have all the days of the week there. And then over here, there's like this little graph. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the things right here. So what I like to do here, I'm going to show you an older week. I have to find a week where I actually was successful in using it. It's been a while. Wow. Do I need to walk this back? Okay, here's one. This is what I should be doing with it. This was back in December. Oof. So you can kind of see here. So lives, tutorials, videos, the days that I take off, and my Zoom meetings. So it's a really great way for me to be able to divide up my week. Like, the important part of this is the off, right? So as someone who puts content out all the time, sometimes we have to shut it off to reset so that we're fresh again when we turn it back on, you know? And so I think the reason why I stopped doing this is because I was giving myself days off, but I really wasn't taking off. So it really wasn't working for me. And I think the thing that I learned from this is if it's not working, quit trying to force something that's just not happening. You know, when you're organizing your week, you have to kind of keep, I don't want to say reset, but you have to keep figuring out what works best for you because everyone's different. What may work for me might not necessarily work for you. And so when you're organizing your week, you're going to have to walk things back. You're going to have to give yourself grace. You may overshoot it. You may give yourself all of these goals, these lofty goals, and you may not actually get to do any of those things. And you have to give yourself grace. It's going to be okay. Stop making fetch happen, Gretchen. Yeah, right? Absolutely. So I want to show you guys. Last week, I set goals for myself. 3 goals. I wanted to at least try one goal and get it done. Okay? I'm going to show this to you. You probably can't read it, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. So it says right here, make a shawl, make a motif, and crochet a blanket using Premier Puzzle. How many of those things do you think I actually did? Did I make a shawl? Did I make a motif? Did I crochet a blanket using Premier Puzzle? That's a hard no. I had no time to do it. So with that being said, I'm okay with it. I used to get so hard on myself about it. Juan, why didn't you get any of those things done? In retrospect, I had a very successful week because those were just goals. They weren't like hard deadlines of all the things that needed to happen. If I got to it, great. If I didn't get to it, it's okay. You know, give yourself the grace that you need to keep moving on. And that doesn't just apply to me. This also applies to you guys. It could literally be about any single thing that you've got going on in your day to day. You know, did you run to the grocery store like you should have? No. Okay, give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Tomorrow's another day. The store will be open again. Get in your car or however you're getting there. Go do the things when you're able to and come back. You know, it can be literally applied to everything. And I highly encourage to give yourself grace. And I sound like a therapist, and I'm so sorry. I don't want to, I don't want to come off sounding like that, but I feel like sometimes we need to hear this from people. We need people to start saying this more like, hey, chill out, give yourself some grace. It's going to be okay. You got this. Anyway, let me be that person for you today. Give yourself some grace. It's absolutely okay. You know, we're hard enough on ourselves as it is, most of us. And so giving ourselves grace is kind of the balance that we need. Now, there is this small little piece of it where we're constantly giving ourselves grace, and we have to be disciplined in the grace that we give ourselves, right? So let's not overextend the grace that we're giving ourselves. Just be mindful of the grace. You know, how many graces are we getting in a day? Are we constantly giving ourselves grace for all the things? You know, sometimes we need to hold ourselves to our own standard, and what that looks like for you may be different than what it looks like for me. But at the end of the day, set a standard and try as best as you can to stick as close to that standard as possible, So, yes, thank you, Kim. Grace and discipline is key. It's really important to find that happy balance. And I have to tell you, I don't always hit the mark. Sometimes I give myself too much grace and I have to snap back. Classic example, I had a project that was due. Um, this was an older project. I had a project that was due, and I really was not up to it. I just did not feel well enough to sit here and do any of the things. But I had remembered that I've given myself grace several times over this same exact project. Like, I realized that I overextended my grace. And I said, you know what, Juan? You could give yourself grace and it'll be fine. But how many times are you going to continue doing this? You need to really get this done. And what did I do? I forced myself to sit here and actually get that work done. And, sometimes you just have to be that way to yourself because you're setting your own standards. So you're finding that happy balance. And sometimes we miss the mark, but then also too, sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace. Sometimes we're workhorses. We're doing all of the things, and again, not just yarn related, right? We're cleaning the house. We're picking up after people. We're running all of the errands. We're cleaning this. We're doing that. At what point are you going to sit down and breathe? Give yourself that grace. Be like, listen, I've literally done all these things, and I need to like stop, and I need to like chill. So again, it's the balance goes both ways. Give and take, push and pull, all the things, right? So anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. I try so hard to not allow my conversations to sound like TED Talks, but on Mondays I get very preachy, and I do apologize. I reflect in the mornings before I come on this live stream. If I give myself enough time, I'm reflecting, and I kind of like sharing that with you guys, So hopefully that is of interest. I should start labeling these TED Talk Mondays. Free therapy sessions. I love a good thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. You guys are so supportive. I'm so thankful and humbled that you guys are even here. I really, I don't talk enough about that. I'm so humbled and thankful that like there are people that watch and there are people that listen. And I'm so grateful for that, because this can't happen without you guys, right? Unless, of course, I'm sitting here in an empty room, which I've done that before. Long time ago, I used to do that, but I'm very thankful for you guys. So thank you so much. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Okay, so hold on one second. Hey, Siri, please turn off my 6 a.m. alarm.
Okay, your 6 a.m. alarms are off.
And by the way, my 6 a.m. alarms, look how many I have.
I couldn't find the alarm you asked for.
Okay, there's 5 of those. I have 5 alarms at 6 o'clock. Because outside of Monday, every other day of the week, that's the time. Like my day starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up, I take care of mom, and my day starts at 6 a.m. And so I have 5 alarms to make absolutely sure that like I am up and I am moving and I'm doing all the things. Anyway, let's see. Free therapy. I love it. What, you tell me it's live, not a video? No, it's not a video, Miss Reptile. You are in a live stream. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome. Yes, you are here as a part of a live stream. This is not a vertical either, which is super nice. Love that for us, right? Very, very nice. Okay, so we went off on a tangent. I got very TED Talkish, and I'm okay with it as long as I don't go too far, That's not this. Okay, so I do want to do one of those. I do want to do that. I really feel like I have a strength in that. Like you give me that. Look at this. You see this? I mean, I'm already prepared. I can literally do one of those. I can sit here with my earphones, with the microphone, and just talk your ear off and literally be like, okay, guys, give yourself this and that and the power. And I can do that. Maybe one of these days we'll do that, but not right now. All right. TED Talkish. All right. Anyway, so as I always do with the Wake Up with Wands, we're going to go through the week. We're going to talk about what the plans are, what I'm doing for the week, and I'm going to set goals for myself, and I'm going to give myself some off days and commit to being actually off. And I'll pre-record some content so that there are things for you guys to watch, but I want to give myself some off days. I want to turn it off. I want for myself a day where if I'm crocheting, I want to crochet for me. I don't want to crochet because there's a deadline. I don't want to crochet because I have to prepare for a tutorial. I want some days where I can literally enjoy the craft like everyone else does, And that's been a huge struggle for me. Like everything that I have here on my desk is literally for you guys. And so I want to carve out some me time with my craft, because I love it as much as you guys do. And so I've got projects that I've been eyeballing. I purchased some patterns because I like to support other designers and crochet artists and knitting artists and all the things. So yeah, I would like to do that for me. And so on my off days, I'm going to leave all of these things alone. And I just want to enjoy my craft like you guys, So anyway, those days for me are going to be the days that I actually do the tutorials, like the tutorial drops. If I'm going to do those, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. But let me start with Monday. So we're on a blank page here. I talk through all the things with you guys all week long. And then, yeah. So on Mondays, if you guys don't already know, let me fill you in. I'm pretty consistent. I like a routine. I don't know if you guys like routines, but I love a routine. I'm very predictable down to the food I eat. My moderators know exactly my menu. They know what I eat because I eat the same thing, and I'm always talking to them about my food. Anyway, I had one of them say, "Hey, did you get your BLT today?" I'm like, you know what? I completely forgot, but thank you for reminding me. Anyway, on Mondays, I do whipping it with wands. That's my day to like work on my whips. And I sit here and I talk to you guys about all the things. And I believe whipping it with wand is, I don't remember the number. I want to say we're on 112, I think. So we're going to put whipping it with wand. Whipping it with wand. And I'm also going to include wake up with ones. We're right here. We're waking up together. We're drinking the coffee. Wake up with one. Okay. I also have time sliced out of this day for the members. It's members only Monday. So every Monday, the members of my channel, everyone that you're seeing in the chat right now in green, those are the folks that are members to the channel, and we have exclusive content drop every Monday. So tonight, Eastern Standard Time, we're doing a members only live stream. We have a pattern drop today for the official level Yarn Addicts. And so I'm very excited for you guys because it's a really good pattern this month. I mean, I put my foot in a lot of the patterns that I do, but this one here, I worked really, really hard on, and I think you guys are going to really, really like it. So for the officials pattern drop, I should write that down. Officials pattern drop. Okay. And then we have a live stream tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Members. Okay. Perfect. Love that. And that wraps up the day. I mean, my day is pretty long on a Monday because we're waking up together at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then I have a members live at 7 p.m. that runs an hour, hour and a half. So my day doesn't really end until that is over. So potentially 8 p.m., 8:30, pretty long day. And I'm actually crocheting and I'm doing all the yarny things in between all of that. I'm writing patterns. I'm sending out orders because I have things on Etsy that are constantly selling. So I'm doing that. Also, we've got replay giveaway winners who are reaching out and they're giving me their information and I'm mailing all of that out. So yeah, by the way, the very last person finally reached out to me over the, I guess, during the night. I wanted to say overnight, but during the night. So all the prizes have been claimed. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so Tuesday is Tutorial Tuesday. It rolls off the tongue. Tutorial Tuesday. So if there are tutorials to be dropped, Tuesday and or Thursday are the days that I drop tutorials. I could drop tutorials any other day, but designated days, Tuesday and Thursdays. So Tutorial Tuesday. Also, content drops. So if I have a yarn haul, if I do a coffee and cake with Juan, if I do another whipping it with Juan, Tuesdays or Thursdays, I fill with content. So content drop. There are some days where I don't drop anything, and that's okay. I gave myself grace. I gave myself grace. I'm like, you know what? We're not doing anything today. I just want to crochet. I just want to do all the things for Juan. It's Juan's time to just relax. So if you don't see anything, nothing happened to me. I'm just taking an off day. All right. Wednesday. Well, we already know what Wednesday is. So Wednesday is the day that we do the bi-weekly challenges, which we still don't have a name for. I think I let that train pass. Challenge Wednesdays is every other Wednesday. And then on the Wednesdays, we're not doing challenges. It's literally Stitch and Chat, right? Is that what we're calling it? Stitch and Chat? No. My brain, it's very foggy right now. I'll think of it. Anyway, so, it's like a tutorial based live stream where I show you all the things about crochet. We talk about yarn, we talk about patterns, we talk about diagrams, crochet hooks, all the things. So yeah, it's Let's Chat Stitches. Thank you, Kim. I had to eyeball over to the chat to kind of remind myself. Thank you. So it's Let's Chat Stitches this week. Perfect. And so what I like to do for Let's Chat Stitches, I recap previous weeks. I'll take bits and bobs of past Let's Chat Stitches, and then I will fuse some new content in. Because I feel like if you're learning and if you're always coming to the Let's Chat Stitches, I want to give you like a little brief summary of what happened the last time so it's still fresh in your mind. And I always welcome new people. Like I encourage, brand new crocheters, experienced crocheters, veteran crocheters, all are welcome because while I sit here and talk to you about all the things, we've got people in the chat who are just as experienced as I am, assisting with advice, assisting with questions to the newbies who come and ask the questions. Because I find that people that are brand new to crochet, they've got all the questions, tons of questions about all the things. So, even if you've been crocheting for 40 years and you know every single thing that's coming out of my mouth, there's a bunch of people who sit in the chat who are brand new, who have tons of questions, and there's a lot more of them than there are of me. So, if you want to come, hang out, answer questions, help us out, that would be absolutely amazing. Come on over, it'll be a lot of fun. So next week is the 25th, I believe, next Wednesday. So that will be the challenge week. So we're currently working through our challenges. And actually, some of us are currently working through our challenges. I fully admit, guys, I started my One Skein Wonder challenge, but it's still sitting on the fireplace. So the fireplace is off. It's not on, but it's on. It's like literally on the fireplace. So once time allows, I will grab that and start working back on it. But what I'm doing is that wide stitch beanie I'm making with that yarn. So stay tuned. All right, so let's move on to Thursday. So Thursday is literally a dupe of Tuesday. So anything that I'm doing on Tuesday, I'm just going to copycat that onto Thursday. Either it's going to be a tutorial, a content drop, something of that sort, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let's flip over. We're going to Friday. So Friday is podcast day. So I do a weekly podcast here. A lot of you guys already know this. Weekly podcast episodes drop on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's a weird time because I go live at like 7 p.m. and then on Sundays I go live at 6. But my podcast drops at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's always been that way for some reason. And I just decided to not change that. I've considered dropping it earlier, but the viewers are just so used to seeing it drop at 5 p.m. that I just left it there. I mean, I feel like if I change it now, it's going to send people through loops. They're going to be like, Juan, what is even happening right now? Why am I seeing you 3 hours earlier? I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but they would definitely be questioning it. They're going to be like, Juan, what's happening? Like, you're not supposed to come on until 5. I've actually been sent messages that said those exact words. And of course I laugh. I'm like, yeah, I just chose to do that. It's okay, right? I love that for us. All right. Anyway, so Friday is podcast day, and it's podcast number 126. Oh my goodness. Podcast 126. So I mentioned this several weeks ago, and I'm not sure if I want to do this, but I think I want to. I want to introduce a secondary podcast that's nothing like the one I currently do. So this other podcast that I want to introduce is one where I sit here and I give you that whole TED Talk situation, where I pick a topic and I do deep dives in those topics. I offer opinions, I offer facts, I offer, some research-based information, regardless of what it is. Of course, it's yarny related, right? So there's tons of things that we can talk about. I mean, I mentioned it before. You give me a skein of yarn and I can go on and on and on about it for a whole hour. I mean, I can tell you the projects, I can tell you the different colorways, I could tell you the content of the fiber and how to pull it apart. Listen, we can dive. And I figured conversations like that, it doesn't really play well with the current podcasts that I release on Fridays. This would literally have to be something completely different. And so I want to introduce that. After all, I've got the magic microphone. I've got the magic microphone to do it. So why not? I've got the stand. We have all the things here. It's the writing is literally on the wall. It's saying, Juan, it's time to do that because we want that for us. We want that for you and for me and for us, right? To just sit here and talk about all the yarny things. And listen, how cool is it for you to just turn me on? You don't even have to watch me. Just turn me on and listen to me just talk, right? I'll do deep dives about like the different yarn companies and like how long they've been open for and like, all of the things. And on those where we're just sitting here talking about those topics, and of course they're preloaded topics, these are going to be things that are planned out in advance and like maybe pre-recorded. Yeah, pre-recorded. And of course edited if need be. But like, how cool would it be to like get your whip, sit back, crochet, and listen to like all the things without having to be like, let me stop working on my whip and look at that colorway that Juan is showing me now because he's showing yarn for the next 20 minutes. And I love to talk. So if you haven't figured that out by now, I do like to talk. I'm a talker. Anyway, so podcast 126 drops on Friday. And then on Saturday, we've got Saturday night date night with Juan, me. So Saturday night date night, I feel like it's starting to become an institution. We've been doing Saturday night date night for a long time now. I was looking back at my older live streams. It's been like over a year since we started Saturday night date night. In fact, is it going on a year and a half? It's been a while a long while. And it's just one of those things. It's so unexpected, but like it shocks me every time that I go live on Saturday, and I should know. But when I go live on Saturdays, I go on with the whole idea that there won't be many people coming. It's just I sit back, I talk about anything and everything. I don't have any content preloaded. I come with my coffee and we sit and talk like besties, like I'm visiting, and it blows me away that so many people come. So many people come, and I love that for us. So if you're interested in coming to hang out, we don't always talk about yarny things. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But Saturday night date night is just like a chill place to just hang out and all the things. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that. Okay, SNDN, 7 p.m. Yep. And then Sunday. Now, Sunday is the literal keystone of the week. So that's been going on for the longest. Of everything that I have here, everything that I do on my channel, that live stream is like the longest running thing. And since it started, I've never changed the time. It's always been the same exact time each and every time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do come with preloaded agendas. Like I do show and shares. I may talk about yarn. I may do different things. So yeah, Sunday night. So Sunday live is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Perfect. Love that. So that's my week. And so from here, I would like to set myself up with some goals. So how many of you guys actually make goals for yourself, whether it be mental goals, maybe you write them down, maybe you put them on a whiteboard? How many of us are goal oriented? Even if we don't hit those goals, let's see. I'm taking a look. Sarah says, I'd love to hear you talk about all the things. Listen, I love that you guys listen to me talk about all the things. It's so good. Someone said, and I love when they do this. I love it when they send me these emails. They say to me, hey, Juan, I put you on. I don't know what video it was, but you were just talking about this yarn that you purchased. It was a yarn haul. And I had you on while I was doing the dishes, but I have to tell you, every time you said, "Hey, you have to look at this," I literally had to stop washing my dishes to come over to my phone to look at the yarn. And so it took me so much longer to do my dishes, but I really had a good time looking at all of the yarn. I love it. It's so much fun. I laugh so much when they send me those emails. They're like, "Yeah, I had to do this, but you showed this yarn or you spoke about this and had to come over and see what it is that you were doing because it was very interesting." So good. Anyway, in hindsight, a lot of the times that I go live and I have you guys here, the time flies. I don't know if it flies for you, but it flies for me. Before I know it, the live, like, it's over. It's been an hour, hour and a half, and like, where had the time gone? It's crazy. Anyway, let's talk about some goals. So last week I didn't achieve any of my goals, right? So last week I wrote down I wanted to make a shawl. I wanted to design a motif and I wanted to crochet a blanket using Premier Puzzle yarn. Am I wanting to carry any of those goals over to this week? Well, not all of them. I think for this week, I'm going to give myself one. Since I wasn't able to achieve any of the three, I'll carry over one. And so, of the three here, I think the one that I'm going to want to do is design a motif. I'm in my design era right now. Like, I've got design brain all day long. It's insane. And while I'm on the train, I might as well just ride with it. So the creative juices are flowing. And while they flow, I must run with it. So we're going to write the motif down. That being said, I've got whips that need to be worked on. I also thought about starting a new whip this week because with the Whipping It with Wands, I feel like the ones that have been recorded so far, we've already seen those whips. And I know for you guys, it doesn't really matter which whips I'm working on, but for me, it does because I like to just come on with something fresh each time. So I think everything that I've got here has already been shown. So I may actually pull out some yarn and start a new whip for like a donation blanket or something. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about it. Yeah, so good. So I'm going to write down here for goals, start donation blanket. Perfect. So I do one each week for donations. And for those of you guys that don't know this, I donate like 95% of everything I make. I don't really keep much at all. And if I do keep it, it's probably because it's like the first of, like the timber trails that I'm making next door. It's the first DK weight blanket I've ever made for myself. So yeah, I'm going to keep that one. But like if I make any more DK weight blankets after that, I'm going to donate it because I've got one already, So yeah, very, very nice. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. So I guess from here, I'd like to reach out to you guys. First, I just want to say a huge hello to everyone who peppered in. Thank you so much for coming in and waking up with me. And a huge hello to all of our replay warriors, those of you guys in the bushes and in the forest. And if you don't know what that is, let me just fill you in very quickly. If you're in the bushes or in the forest, you're literally, sitting back. You're not really into the chat. You're just watching. A lot of our viewers here watch me on a television screen and they're not really engaged with the chat. I call that like the bushes or in the forest. Your preference. That's what that is. And so, whether you're back there or in the chat, all are appreciated. So huge thank you to all of you guys for coming and participating with this. That being said, do any of you have any questions for me? I'm going to open the floor up. If you have any yarning related questions, I'll be more than happy to help answer them. I really want to just engage with you guys, if that's okay. Let's see. Looking, trying to see if any of you guys have questions. And if not, that's okay too. I do want to encourage you guys to drop your questions in the comments after this live stream is over, because I pull questions from these videos for the Whipping It with Wand sessions. They're great talking points. I mean, it's like visiting with a bestie, right? So like if you ask me a question, of course I'm going to want to answer it. So like, yeah, ask the questions. Visit with me. I would love that for us. Let's see. Spring cow still in the plans? Yes. So it's one of the things that I'm actually designing behind the scenes. I really like, I used to do this. If you've been around for a while, you know this. I used to take my projects and I would always tease and tease and show you my progress, And I learned that it ruins the element of surprise when I do that. So I don't do that anymore. So just know that I'm designing the Crochet-along behind the camera, and it's set to be released at the beginning of April. So it's right around the corner. We're going to have a whole kickoff live stream. I'm going to show the finished blanket. I'm going to show you the different steps that I've gone through to get to where the finish line is. I'm going to talk about the yarn that you're going to need and all of that. So stay tuned. I'll give you all the details on the kickoff live, like we did for Wildflower Oasis. We started with a kickoff call live stream, and then the tutorials dropped every week. So it's just going to be a weekly tutorial drop. And of course, I'm always here to answer questions and things like that. So very excited for you guys. I'm wanting to do a modern granny border on my blanket. What is the chain amount on the chain row? Granny border on my blanket. So if you're doing a modern granny border, you would start out with the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, going over your granny stitches. In your corners, it would be single, chain 3, single, and then you would just go back in and fill in with your granny stitch. Hopefully I'm getting that. If it's the other part of the question, it's chain multiples of 3. Chain multiples of 3. And in those multiples, you're wanting to you're going to need to insert single crochet, chain 2, single crochet to create that foundation for the modern stitches. Bye, Carol. Thank you so much for visiting. Appreciate you. Let's see here. I'm struggling to work out what to make with 100% wool that is hand washed, lay flat to dry. I love the colors, but yeah. So washing instructions for me dictate what I'm going to work that yarn up into. Number one, can you hand wash a blanket? Can you hand wash a huge project? Yes. Is it cumbersome? Yes. I mean, it's going to require extra work. Now, I remember last night in the live stream, I didn't mention it, but I noticed in the chat, I was talking about macchiato cakes and how it was hand washed, lay flat to dry. And I would not recommend crocheting a huge blanket with hand wash, lay flat to dry yarn. And someone said, well, you can fill up a bathtub and stomp on the blanket to wash it. Of course you can do that. But just keep in mind that the water weight that fiber will hold is pretty extravagant. I mean, it's a lot of water weight, so keep in mind that, while you have the ability to put a blanket in a tub and stomp on the blanket to kind of wash it or whatever, keep in mind that you have to somehow wring all of that water out of the blanket. And when you're working with natural fibers, what you should not do, whereas I'm trying to think of something that I can grab. Let's say this is your blanket. What you can't do is this. You can't wring that yarn. You can't do that to that yarn, because what happens is the hooks in the fiber, it'll become very matted. You're going to felt your yarn. It's you're going to lose your stitch definition. It's not going to look like it's supposed to look. So when you wash fiber like that, there's a very specific way for you to get that water out. And a lot of times, like for wearables, you're supposed to roll the water out of the yarn, so you lay it on a towel and you roll the towel, and then you wind the towel back, and then you lay it on a fresh towel and you roll the towel and you lay flat to dry. When you're working with a big blanket like that, that process is so cumbersome. So just keep in mind what that entails. It's a lot of work. So I don't recommend it. I'm just putting that out there. If you're going to do it, great, but you're not hearing it from me. Oh yeah, go ahead and do all the things with hand wash, lay flat to dry. Make this huge king size blanket. Good luck washing it. If you want to do it, great, but I cannot in good conscience recommend that you crochet a king size blanket, a queen size blanket with hand wash, lay flat to dry. I just can't do that. I won't be able to sleep. I can't do that. Can you identify yarn eater stitches in the Stitch Academy? Sometime it matters when choosing a stitch. Yeah, of course. Sometimes I mention it if it's like most of the stitches that are in the Stitch Academy are not yarn eaters. The ones that are coming up, I do have a few coming up that are. So the feather stitch, it's a yarn eater. It likes to chomp down on yarn. If you're looking to bust through stash, look for those stitches that eat yarn for sure. Let's see. Let's see. With spring coming, will you be going outside more? I will. I've tried doing it last year and the reception was really, really great. The thing about going outside in Delaware is in Delaware, there's a lot of I don't want to say airports, but like military bases with airplanes and things like that. We have the Air Force Base all over the state. Like there's different, and so you're constantly hearing airplanes. Usually, like when I've gone outside before, it was like the timing had to be just right because those planes fly over at certain times during the day. So yeah, I have to time all that, but it's noisy here. Airplanes, So let's see. I think the wool is going on the donate pile, and then I'll stick to my usual acrylic blends. Yes. And the other thing too to keep in mind, if you are mixing yarns, right? So let's say you have a macchiato cake that says hand wash, lay flat to dry, and then you have another cake, I don't know, big cake, which is machine washable and dryable. If you run those yarns together, if these two become one, both yarns now become hand wash, lay flat to dry. Just because you put that hand wash, lay flat to dry with yarn that's machine washable, it doesn't make this machine washable. It's the other way around. So when following washing instructions, you always have to follow the washing instructions that's the most stringent. So if both are hand wash, lay flat to dry, you kind of know what to do. But if one is different than the other, look at it and be like, okay, this is machine washable and dryable, or this is machine washable, lay flat to dry, but this is hand wash, lay flat to dry. If you run those together, everything becomes hand wash, lay flat to dry, if that makes any sense. So is a cluster stitch a major yarn eater? It eats yarn. It does eat yarn, but I want to, so on a scale from 1 to 10, the cluster stitch would be like a 6. Whereas this right here, this would be like an 8. This would be like an 8. Your puff stitches and your popcorns and your bobbles, those are like 9s. So yeah, super, super nice. But yeah, I mean, yarn eaters really are those stitches that have a lot of yarn overs. So pay attention to yarn overs and drawing loops through stitches and things. The more of those you have, the more yarn it's actually requiring to get those stitches done. Okay. So hello, Mama Swift. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. A lot of air traffic noise. Yes. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. In Delaware, you have that. It's literally all over. Whether you're in northern Delaware or southern Delaware, we have Air Force bases all throughout the state. Lots of military bases here in Delaware. And so I know here where I'm at the times that those planes fly over. So I make sure to not record content when that's happening, but it happens, especially down south, like lower, slower. They get so much more traffic than we do. And you would think that being in northern Delaware, so close to Philadelphia, that you would hear all those planes, but it's not like that. So, yeah. Hello, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see. Michelle says, I meant taking time for yourself, but I love your answer. Thank you, Michelle. I want to. I would love to take time and go touch grass and hug trees and go do the things. I think the one thing that's keeping me from doing that is that I'm a caretaker. And as a person who cares for my mom, there's always that constant worry, like, am I gone too long? Like, I need to go check and make sure she's good, you know? Um, I'm going to work on that a little more. I'm going to get out of the house a little more, especially when the weather gets warmer. I'm going to want to go outside a little more for myself, maybe take my crochet projects for Juan outside and enjoy the elements outside for me. I would love that. That would be amazing. Thank you for that question, Michelle. Kim Moore says, I've got a lot of highway noise. Yep. I don't envy you. I don't envy you at all. Nope. Let's see. Very, very nice. So you know what I want to do? I should put this down. Window shop for patterns. Like, as a crochet pattern writer myself, I really like to support other pattern writers. I really do. Like, go to Etsy, go to Ravelry, and just check out and see what they've got going on over there. I was put on to some. Okay, so there's this one pattern that I bought. She's got a really long name. I should write it down, but I'll share more information on this later. But I mean, I have to tell you, like, these patterns are just, oh my goodness, they're amazing. I'll be sure to share that. I'm going to write this down. Window shop for patterns. And these are for Juan projects. For Tuesdays and Thursdays when Juan is just crocheting for himself. Yeah. Window shopping for patterns. Yep. So, I mean, it's nice doing all the things for the channel, but I mean it when I say that I'm going to carve time out for myself. And, you know, I know this sounds a little harsh, but I think what I need to do is really shut it down, you know? So if I have preloaded content dropping on those 2 days that I'm giving myself off, I think I'm only going to make myself available for all the non-yarny things. You know, I'm literally just going to shut down for those 2 days because I feel like any human being needs a reset button. We all do. You know, we all need that reset. Let's get this going so we can be our best self, you know? Anyway, I don't want to get into the TED Talk. We had our little segment earlier. We're not going to revisit that. I love pattern shopping, but never have time to do them. That, oh my goodness. I so agree with that. How many times have we favorited a pattern or downloaded a pattern or purchased a pattern and said to ourselves, oh yeah, I want to do that. It's great. I love it. It's all the things. I've got the yarn for it. And then nothing comes to fruition because life. Need I say more? Life happens. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I wanted to do that pattern, but I've got 5 other whips that I need to work on. I have UFOs sitting in the wings that need to be pulled out, and decisions need to be made. I mean, and I've got these patterns. Yeah, I totally get it. I'm constantly influenced by so many different wonderful designers out there. Do you think that you will have companion squares to go with the Lightkeeper square? So that's a very good question, Trish. I think that if I create anything for the Lightkeepers, I don't want to add on to anything. I think the Lightkeeper square should be of its own thing. I think if I create anything moving forward, it will also be its own thing, but it will be in a playlist with all the lighthouse things, you know, like I mentioned yesterday. I do have other projects out there, like the vibe squares and things like that. But those motifs, I want them to stand on their own unless I roll them out as like a collection. So in the future, if I ever roll out a motif and I mention that it's going to be part of a collection, then you'll already know that I'm already planning something to create like companion pieces to go with that. But that's a really great idea and good question. Thank you for that. So many awesome patterns out there, not enough time. And you know what? I have to tell you, when you go and look for patterns, it doesn't matter, free, paid for, it doesn't matter. It's listen, it's the abyss. It's just I'm overwhelmed with the talent that's out there. There's so many talented people out there who write patterns that they do all of these wonderful things with yarn. And it's amazing. I absolutely love it. And I totally get how you guys get for those who purchase patterns. I get it. I'm with you. I totally get it. And I feel overwhelmed with like wanting to do every single pattern that I download and purchase or download for free. It doesn't matter. And then life, 24 hours in a day, two hands, the whole equation. So yeah. Let's see. I'm holding myself accountable for that. I am making face scrubby mitts from my list right now. I love that. Let's see. Thanks, Juan, for hosting dinner time here. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. I really do. Can you show us or explain how to pick sock making yarn for crochet? Yeah, so you have to look at your base. And what I mean by that is look at the fiber on the label and ask yourself, what kind of sock are you trying, like what kind of sock am I trying to make, right? Do I want something that's elastic, that has stretch in it? Do I want to make something that's durable? Do I want to make something that I only wear for special occasions? Because these questions matter. It actually decides your yarn for you. I will tell you, I mean, there's so many different blends of sock yarn out there. I would suggest, if you're just going into it for the first time, look for sock yarn that has a nylon blend in it. It's very strong, it's very durable, and I would suggest something with a nylon blend in it for sure, 100%. Or look for patterns, look for sock patterns, not to do them. This is another really great suggestion. Look at sock patterns that have the materials needed for that particular pattern and see the common denominator, and just look at these patterns and see what they suggested for their socks, and look at the socks and say to yourself, well, I kind of like the construction of that sock. I like the way that looks. This is the yarn that they're suggesting for that. So patterns are really good for that reason. Look at patterns out there and see what that gives you. Okay. Let's see. So Kathy said, maybe a cow with weekly crocheted square to eventually crest a throw or an afghan. That's a really great suggestion. I love that, Kathy. Love it. I'm writing it down. I'm writing it in the book as an idea. Someday it may come into fruition. But wait, didn't we do that already? I feel like I think I did that. But I was a very different creator back then. I don't know. We'll see. Squares. It's in the book as an idea. I mean, Winter Stitch Cal 2024. I don't even know if that's still active. Is it still active? I don't know. I'll check. If it is active, I eventually want to do this. Here's the rug. Let's sleep under it and put it back. So Winter Stitch Cal was a dual cal. I don't know. How many of you guys remember that? The dual cal. We had squares that we were doing each week and a blanket. Of all the cals I've done, that was the most, actually, no, it wasn't the most stressful, but it was up there. Stress-wise, it was up there because I had no idea what stitches we were actually doing. We were relying on a wheel to tell us what stitches. And then with that stitch, I had to create on the fly. I had to go with whatever it said. It was stressful. I'm glad that it happened. I became a stronger person because of it. But lessons were definitely learned. And I think going forward, if I ever did something like that, I would pre-plan everything in advance. It wouldn't be a mystery. No mystery. We're just, yep, planned. Sonata says Winter Cal 24 was my favorite. I love that for you. Listen, I'm humbled and thankful that you guys even have a favorite with my stuff attached to that. So thank you. Autumn Aspirations was stressful. Yes, Miss Reptile. Autumn Aspirations, she was a doozy. I want to say the one I enjoyed the most, the one I had the most fun with was Wildflower Oasis. I had so much fun. But I do want to tell you the one that I had the most stress, the absolute most stress, was the Spring Crochet-along from 2024. Who remembers that? The Spring 2024 Crochet-along? Oh my goodness. You want to talk about stress levels? Through the roof. We used Karen cotton cakes. Oh my goodness. I had to re-record those tutorials like 3 times every week because a word was misspoken. I said the wrong round number. I said the wrong stitch. Like I was saying double crochet, but I was doing a single crochet. It was just a hot mess. It was, and I had no one else to blame but me because I was the one saying the words, but actually doing something different under the camera. And like I kept saying to myself, Juan, dude, you are literally crocheting a double crochet stitch and you're saying something else. You're saying double crochet and you're saying single crochet. Like, why can't you make your hands match your mouth? Like, what's going on with your brain? It was a whole thing. Anyway, we got past that. We finally got it done. Ooh, I was so glad when that was over. So glad. Casey says, my mom is working on your spring 2024 cal right now. Wow, that's amazing. Excuse me. But we learn and we grow. You learn something from everything we do. That's absolutely right. Nowadays, I mean, the way I roll out my cals now is nothing like how we did it before. Nothing. We did a 360 on all that. Like, or 180, not a 360. 360 is going right back to where it was. 180. In a good way. Listen, I'm so thankful we roll out the cals the way we do now. It's so good. For the winter cal, I did the blocks so it became a sampler blanket for me. Yep. Out of the two, I actually preferred the squares because I was able to just lay everything out the way I wanted to lay it out. So it worked out perfectly for me. The blanket, I have to tell you, week number 3. Week number 3, specifically the cobble stitch, is what threw that blanket off for me. Once we got to that stitch, it was over. It was a wrap. I said, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this because the stitch, it was part of the mystery stitch, and the way that I had to lay that blanket out, I mean, I had to fight with that. I had to fight with it. It just was not, it wasn't fun. Anyway, lessons were learned. Lessons were learned. And I said, if I ever do this again, number 1, it's going to be a while before I do something like this again. Number 2, we're not making it a mystery. I'm going to pre-plan all of this. I'm going to count every stitch. I'm going to measure everything. I want to make sure that all questions can be answered before I actually roll it out. With it being a mystery, I had to figure it out as we went. And like, people were asking questions. I didn't have answers to them. I had no idea where to look for answers because I had no time to prepare. This was all a mystery. We were all unpacking all of the things together, So, but yeah, we learned. So good. Let's see. Customizable are better, I think. So probably big granny squares would be awesome. Yeah, absolutely. We love a good granny square. We love a good granny square. I spoke about this before. I just want to just dip it into your brains. What I would like to do is take one of my blanket patterns, um, Timber Trails to be specific. I would love to take Timber Trails and make a sibling piece for it. I think I mentioned that before. So that is going to be one of my long-term goals. I'm going to want to create sibling pieces for some of these blankets that I've created because I think we're onto something. I think a lot of you guys are telling me, I love making this blanket because it's so much fun. I can make this blanket, for a donation. I can make this blanket for the house or whatever the case may be. But I like keep making them. And so I thought to myself, well, why don't I think about planning something along those lines? Why not make a sibling blanket that kind of sort of resembles Timber Trails, but slightly different and offers, companion pieces. So stay tuned for that. I've got a long-term goal in the works here. I mentioned it before. I'm mentioning it to you guys now. So stay tuned for that. So good. Always have perfectly grain and square on the hook. And it's a great stash buster, guys. I'm telling you, if you've got leftover yarns from all the leftover things and you're looking to work it up into a project, the perfectly squared grain and square, maybe the 2-bit granny, or even just whatever, work up your yarn until you run out, add on another color, and do all of that. Bust through your stash because otherwise it's just going to sit in a bin somewhere, and depending on, how much you have sitting there, you may or may not ever go back to it. So it's a great way to bust through the stash. So good. I just realized the time, guys. Time flies when you have fun, right? Anyway, so just to recap very quickly for today only, we've gone through the whole week, but for today, we have our live stream here. I'm going to do a whipping it with Juan afterwards. I have office hours after this live stream, so I take care of emails, I prepare packages. Then I'm going to do whipping it with Juan, and then we have members only live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the members. And remember, it's pattern drop day for the official level Yarn Addicts. So if you're watching me on replay or if you're here in the audience, if you're an official Yarn Addict, please remember to check the community post tab for the coupon code that you're going to need to email the Pattern Unicorn so you can get your free pattern. It's a good one this month. So anyway, guys, that's all from me for now. Thank you so much for sharing your Monday with me. Hopefully you're awake and ready to tackle on the week. So again, that's all from me for now. Until the next one, take care. Bye, guys.